The rain came down in soft sheets, blurring the glow of streetlights and washing the dust from the tired city sidewalks. Jacob Miller tightened his threadbare hoodie around his daughter as he carried her home from the night shift, his third job that week. His boots were soaked through, and every step felt like a protest from his aching knees. But the little girl asleep against his shoulder, breathing softly, reminded him that every struggle was worth it. Just one more week, he whispered, more to himself than to her. We'll get back on our feet soon, kiddo. It had been nearly 2 years since Jacob lost his wife to cancer. 2 years of bills piling up, of doing his best to keep food on the table and a roof, however leaky, over their heads. He had been a foreman at a construction company, respected and steady, but grief had knocked him off balance, and the world hadn't waited for him to find his footing again. Jobs became scarce. Friends grew distant. Life just got harder. That night, as Jacob rounded the corner of Maple and 12th, he saw something that made his tired feet freeze. A woman was backing away from a man near the alleyway of an upscale cafe that had closed for the night. Her voice trembled. "Please," I said no. The man laughed, stepping closer, ignoring her words like they were a minor inconvenience. Jacob didn't think. He just handed his daughter, still asleep, to a nearby passerby and stormed over. "Hey," he shouted, his voice rough with exhaustion but filled with unmistakable authority. "Leave her alone." The man turned. He was taller than Jacob, younger too, but that didn't matter. Jacob stepped between the two without hesitation, fists clenched. "Back off. Now." The harasser sneered. "What are you, some broke superhero?" "Something like that," Jacob replied. His jaw was tight. Eventually, the man muttered a few slurs and stumbled away into the night. The woman looked shaken but safe. "You okay?" Jacob asked, turning toward her. She nodded, her lips trembling. "Thank you. I don't know what he would have done if you hadn't." "It's all right," Jacob interrupted gently, retrieving his daughter. "People should look out for each other." "Can I at least buy you coffee?" she asked. He smiled tiredly. "Wish I could, but I need to get this one home." She watched as Jacob walked away, the sleeping child resting against him. Something about that moment stayed with her. 1 week later. Jacob didn't think about the woman much after that night. He had too many other things on his mind: late rent, overdue medical bills, and the news that his truck, the only thing he truly owned, needed a $1,200 repair. Life didn't give him time to reflect. But the woman had thought about him every day. Her name was Elena Winslow. To the world, she was just another high-powered executive. But behind closed boardroom doors, she was the sole heir to the Winslow empire, an international conglomerate built on tech and real estate. She could have had anything she wanted. But love? Trust? That was harder to come by. Men saw her as a trophy or a business opportunity. No one looked at her like Jacob did, not with pity, not with admiration, but with the raw decency of someone who just wanted her to be safe. That moment, that act of unfiltered courage, pierced something deep inside her. She called in a favor. "I need every Jacob Miller in the city investigated. Quietly. Find me the man who carries his daughter in the rain." A knock at the door. When Jacob heard the knock, he expected it to be his landlord again, or worse, another bill collector. He wasn't expecting a driver in a suit, holding a sealed envelope and a bouquet of fresh lilies. "Mr. Jacob Miller?" "Yeah. You've been invited to attend a private event at the Winslow Foundation's Hope Gala this Saturday evening. A car will be provided. Childcare will be arranged, if needed." Jacob laughed, thinking it was a prank. "You sure you've got the right guy?" The driver simply handed him the envelope. Inside was an invitation on heavy cream cardstock, his name embossed in gold. He almost threw it away. But something made him hold on. Hope Gala. Jacob had never worn a tuxedo before. He felt out of place walking into the grand ballroom with polished floors, chandeliers that sparkled like stardust, and people whose watches cost more than his car. He was just about to turn back when he saw her. Elena. Her hair was tied back elegantly, and she wore a sapphire gown that shimmered with every movement. But her eyes, they were the same soft, searching eyes from that night in the rain. "You came," she said with a warm smile. "I still don't know what I'm doing here." "You saved me that night," Elena replied. "But more than that, you reminded me that kindness still exists without cameras or credit." She guided him through the room, introducing him to people he never thought he'd meet. Investors, philanthropists, dreamers. For the first time in years, Jacob wasn't invisible. And his story, his resilience, his selflessness, captured hearts. A new beginning. By the end of the night, Elena pulled him aside. "I want to offer you something," she said. Jacob raised an eyebrow. "If this is about charity, I can't." "It's not," she interrupted. "I need someone I can trust to manage our new community outreach program. You've lived it. You understand people in ways we never will. Help me build something that matters." Jacob blinked, stunned. "Why me?" "Because you didn't save me for recognition. You didn't hesitate, even when you had every reason to walk away. And because," she smiled softly, "you believed in kindness when the world gave you every reason not to." Epilogue: a father, a fighter, a future. 6 months later, Jacob stood in front of a new community center in the heart of the city. It had been named after his late wife, the Emily Grace Foundation. A safe space for struggling parents, single dads, and anyone trying to hold their family together. Elena was there beside him, her hand resting gently on his. Their relationship had grown slowly, built on shared purpose, not grand gestures. But in the quiet moments, in laughter shared over bedtime stories and dreams whispered under starlit skies, love found its way in. Not the flashy, dramatic love of fairy tales. But the kind born from respect, from friendship, and from the fire that forges two broken hearts into something whole. Jacob never imagined that chasing away a stranger in an alley would change everything. But life has a way of surprising us when we lead with courage, not calculation. He wasn't just a struggling dad anymore. He was a hero. A partner. A man who proved that kindness still wins, even in the rain.